So for chapter 2, atau ada yang kelas yang laju mungkin dah lah masuk chapter 2 lah. Alright. So untuk chapter 2, lecture kita akan cover selama 2 minggu. Okay, lecture untuk kita akan cover selama 2 minggu. So boleh nampak tak screen saya dalam slideshow? Boleh tak nampak screen saya dalam slideshow?
Boleh.
Boleh
Boleh.
Okay.
Boleh.
Alright. Okay, nice. Okay, so topic 2, cell structure and functions. We're going to cover 2.1 prokaryotic. Are you all going to cover in tutorial? Kalau tak ada dalam lecture, tutorial lah. Prokaryotic, eukaryotic cells, structure and functions, cell memory and organelles. 2.3, cell are grouped into tissues. And then the last one is 2.4, cell transport. So if you refer to your planner, I'm going lecture only going to cover 2.1. Okay, this one, 2.1, 2.3 and 2.4. So for 2.2, you're going to discuss in lecture. Actually, tutorial. Actually, you're going to discuss everything in tutorial. Tapi 2.2 ni sangat banyak. So kita tak sempat discuss hari ni. So for today, I'm going to explain about 2.1 and 2.3 only. But for next week, we're going to continue discussing 2.3 and 2.4. Alright. 2.1, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, okay, state the 3 principles of cell theory, explain the structures of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, illustrate and compare. So when the question asks you to compare, you need to include similarities and differences. Okay, so the one that compare the structure of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, plant and animal cell. So the one that I highlighted, the one we will discuss in lecture. So the cell theories. So first theory, all organisms are made up of one or more cells. Theory number 2, new cells are always produced from pre-existing cells. Number 3, the cell is a structural and functional unit of all living things. And number 4, the cell contain hereditary information which is passed on from cell to cell during cell division. So the hereditary information refer to the DNA. So we have 4 cell theories. You only need to state 3. Okay, 3 saja. Alright. So then prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So this is prokaryotes and eukaryotic cell. Okay, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So this is the structure. Example of prokaryotic cell is the bacteria. Okay, the bacteria. Example of bacteria is E. coli, Staphylococcus, Lactobacillus. Okay, Lactobacillus yang ada dalam awak punya yogurt tu. Okay, Lactobacillus adalah bakteria yang baik. Okay, so those are the examples of bacteria. So this is the structure of bacteria. You can see that we have flagella. Okay, it has flagella for plural, flagellum for singular. So for this diagram, it point to 2 flagellum. So it should be flagella. And this is the nucleoid. The nucleoid is the region where DNA can be found. Okay, the region where DNA can be found. Prokaryotic cell do not has nucleus, but it has nucleoid. Okay, and then it has ribosome. The ribosome for prokaryotic cell is smaller than eukaryotic cell. Then it has plasma membrane, the cell wall, the capsule, and the pili. Okay, the pili. The function of pili for conjugation, for DNA conjugation, and also for attachment to host. Okay, maksudnya kalau bakteria ni nak connect dengan another bacteria, dia akan connected melalui pili. Okay, pili. Right? So basically, for prokaryotic cell, it has 3 layers. Okay, it has 3 layers. For example, I draw. Okay, 3 layers. So kalau 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the first one is this one, capsule. Capsule is the this is the tough protective layer. So capsule ni dia yang akan protect prokaryotic cell. Okay, dia sangat tough. Sebab itulah dia bila white blood cell datang untuk engulf the bacteria, dia still okay lah. Dia still tak ada masalah. Dia macam dia tough lah. Okay, dia tough. Yang layer kedua barulah kita jumpa cell wall. Ini adalah cell wall. Ini layer kedua, cell wall. Okay. Dan layer ketiga barulah kita jumpa dan plasma membrane. Okay, and the layer yang ketiga barulah plasma membrane. So the capsule, cell wall and the plasma membrane. Okay, so structure of prokaryotic cells no true nucleus. Okay, dia tak ada nucleus yang sejati. Dia tak macam eukaryotic cell, kita ada nucleus. Okay, kalau prokaryotic cell no nucleus. Okay, no nucleus, no true nucleus. Kalau tulis nucleus saja salah, no true nucleus. No membrane bounded organelle. So it do not has organelle that has membrane. For example, mitochondria, chloroplast, dia tak ada semua tu. Okay, and it is very small, smaller than eukaryotic cell. Okay, awak bayangkan awak akan tengok eukaryotic cell, plant cell, animal cell by using microscope. Okay, sangat-sangat kecil. So prokaryotic cell ni lagilah kecil daripada animal cell and plant cell. The genetic material is DNA and DNA in prokaryotic cell is circular. Okay, it is circular, not linear. Linear adalah untuk eukaryotic cell and it is not enclosed by nuclear envelope. Okay, dia tak duduk dalam nuclear envelope. Kalau macam kita, DNA duduk dalam nuclear envelope. It lies freely in cytoplasm, not associated with histone protein, or we call that as naked DNA. Apa itu histone protein? Histone protein refer to, histone protein is this one. Okay, yang ni. Okay, manik-manik yang kecil tu, yang colour purple tu, that is histone protein. So this is our DNA. So our DNA is enclosed or wrapped around the histone protein. Okay, but for prokaryotic cell, it does not has histone protein. Okay, so dia punya DNA macam ni je. Macam tu je. Circular. Macam tu je dia duduk dekat prokaryotic cell. Okay, dia tak wrap. Okay, dia tak wrap around the histone protein. Okay, that's why we call that as naked DNA. Okay, naked DNA. So the DNA is located in region called nucleoid. It has plasma membrane. It has a capsule. Capsule surrounded the cell wall. As I said, it protect the bacteria from phagocytosis. And then the cell wall. Ni penting ni. Cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Okay, the cell wall of prokaryotic cell is made up from peptidoglycan or murin. Dia selalu tanya. Okay. Ribosomes, smaller than in eukaryotic cell. It also has plasmid. Plasmid is small circular DNA that carry accessory gene. So, in prokaryotic cell, dia akan ada plasmid. Contoh ada bulat kecil. Okay, that is plasmid. And that plasmid, okay, the function of plasmid will carry accessory gene. Accessory gene ni, okay, awak akan jumpa lagi dalam chapter 8 nanti. Okay, recombinant DNA technology. Example of accessory genes adalah genes yang resistance to ampicillin. Okay, genes that are resistant to ampicillin. That is the example of accessory gene. And for number 10, it also have fimbriae and pili. Okay, fimbriae and pili. Fimbriae is shorter than pili. Okay, pili atau fimbriae ni macam rambut-rambut kecil keliling prokaryotic cell tu. What is the function? For attachment to host cell. Contoh kata kalau dia masuk dalam badan kita, dia nak attach kepada badan kita guna apa? Guna fimbriae or pili. Okay, or it will attach to the other bacteria. Okay, to other bacteria. Okay, untuk jumpa. Okay, prokaryot A, prokaryot B berjumpa, connected melalui pili. For what? For reproduction. For transmitting DNA. So for prokaryote A will transfer the DNA to prokaryote B. Okay, so pili ni ada juga untuk attachment and also have sex pili. Okay, and then the flagellum of course for movement. The mesosomes, okay. Mesosome is like mitochondria. Okay, mesosome is like mitochondria. Mesosome refer to the infolding of the plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane tu dia berlipat kat dalam. Dia berlipat, okay, infolding of the plasma membrane, and that is called as mesosome. Okay, mesosome. Okay, itu adalah structure untuk prokaryotic cell. For eukaryotic cell, okay, structure of eukaryotic cell, true nucleus is present. Kita ada true nucleus. Okay, maksudnya nucleus tu macam nucleus tu perfect. Dia ada nuclear envelope, dia ada nucleoplasm, dia ada nucleolus, semua ada. Okay, true nucleus is present. DNA is enclosed by nuclear envelope. So our DNA is located inside the nuclear envelope. Okay, it also have internal membrane. Our DNA is linear. Okay, associate with histone protein. Okay, for example, like this diagram. Okay, associate with histone protein, and our DNA is linear. Okay, contain membrane closed organelles. So our cell have many organelles that have membrane. For example, mitochondria, chloroplast in plant cell, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome. Okay, and eukaryotic cell also have cell wall. Okay, for plant cell, the cell wall is made up from cellulose. Okay, for fungi, the cell wall is made up from chitin. Example of fungi is mushroom. Okay, mushroom or yeast. That is the example of fungi. Okay, it also have flagella or cilia. Okay, it also have flagella or cilia. Okay, cilia or flagella in eukaryotic cell. And these are similarities, comparison. So bila soalan comparison, you need to include similarities and also differences. So this is comparison between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Okay, you can see, you can read on your own apa dia punya banyak. Okay, ada berapa? Yes, ada 8. 8 differences, 2 similarities. Setiap satu point mungkin 1 markah ataupun 2 markah. Tapi sebab dia banyak differences and similarities, so the point may be 1 or 0. Okay, 1 atau kosong. So apa maksud kosong? Maksudnya dua-dua kena betul, barulah dapat 1. Kalau sini awak tulis betul, tapi dekat sini awak tulis salah, dapatlah kosong. Okay? Alright. 2.2, I'm going to skip this one because you're going to discuss it in your tutorial. So I'm going to discuss 2.3. Okay, 2.3. For 2.3, yeah, 2.3. 2.3. Actually, topic 2 is just a revision. Okay, it's just revision for your SPM and SES. You already learned this, so it should be easier for you. Okay, yeah. Okay, 2.3, cells are grouped into tissue. Okay, cells are grouped into tissue. So describe animal tissue and plant tissue. Describe animal tissue and plant tissue. Animal tissue kita ada apa? Kita ada banyak. Okay, kita ada epithelial. We have epithelial cells. We have nerve cell. We have muscle cell. And also connective tissue. Okay, 4 ni. Aku kena tahu. Epithelial cell, epithelial tissue. Nerve cell, muscle cell, connective tissue. 4. For plant cell or plant tissue, we have meristem, apical meristem, lateral meristem, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem. Okay, soalan favorite adalah parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Okay, tapi ialah we can't predict the soalan. Okay, soalan that akan keluar yang dalam PSPM nanti. So, describe animal tissue and plant tissue. I'm going to discuss animal tissue dulu. Okay, animal tissue. Animal tissue, as I said, we have 4. Epithelial, nerve, muscle, and connective. For epithelial tissue, that is tissue for protection. Okay, that is tissue for protection, for lining, for exchange materials, and glands. Okay, for nerve tissue, that is tissue for transmit impulse. okay, to transmit impulse. For muscle tissue, we have three. Okay, so the one that is striated muscle, the one that attached to skeleton. Cardiac muscle, of course, cardiac it is related to heart, so it is located at the wall of the heart. For smooth muscle, wall of stomach and intestine. Okay, and then we have connective tissue. Connective tissue, we have blood for transportation, compact bone for protect organ and muscle attached, and then the hyaline cartilage for flexible support. Okay, so um, basic apa jap kiranya animal tissue ni, okay, empat benda ni, apa yang awak kena tahu adalah dia punya structure and function. Okay, structure and function. Structure tu bukan awak hafal je, tapi awak kena tahu dia punya gambar. Sebab soalan selalu dia tanya, dia bagi 3 gambar, and then they ask you to identify what is the type of muscle, what is the type of tissue. Okay, so gambar, structure, functions. Okay, 3 benda tu yang penting. So kita tengok dulu apa itu epithelial tissue. Okay, epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue, we have simple squamous. Okay, simple squamous, and then we have stratified squamous. Okay, simple, kita ada simple dengan stratified. Simple tu maksudnya memang simple lah, dia ada satu layer saja. Kalau stratified ni, perkataan stratified ni maksudnya bertingkat-tingkat. Okay, bertingkat-tingkat. So dia ada banyak layer. Okay, macam ni lah. Simple ni pula, simple epithelial tissue ni kita ada 3 jenis. We have squamous, cuboidal and columnar. Simple squamous epithelial tissue, simple cuboidal, simple columnar. Okay, and number 4, stratified, tahu satu je lah. Stratified squamous. Squamous yang bertingkat-tingkat. So this is a diagram that shows simple squamous, okay, simple cuboidal and simple columnar. Okay, so as I said, you need to know about the structure. Okay, structure yang saya buat dalam bentuk yang ni lah. Buat dalam bentuk table. Okay, structure and also function. Structure, distribution, functions. Okay, I'm not sure in your lecture it is written in table form or in essay form, but if it is written in essay form, you can do it in a table, okay, for easier to see. Alright, so epithelial cell or tissue, one layer only. Okay, as I said, one layer. Kita ada simple squamous. Simple squamous ni dia flat. Okay, flat and thin. Dia flat, yeah, flat and thin. Dia nipis. Okay, dia nipis. Simple squamous, simple cuboidal, cubic shape. Okay, bentuk cube. Okay, cube shape. So you tengok dia bentuk cube. Right? Simple columnar, elongated. Okay, simple columnar, it is elongated. Okay, simple squamous ni, okay, this one. Okay, epithelial cell ni, generally, epithelial cell of epithelial tissue, the shape is polygonal. So, tiga-tiga ni, shape dia polygonal. Okay, cell arrangement untuk tiga-tiga tadi, okay, a cell arrangement mana dia untuk tiga-tiga ni, alright, packed tightly. Okay, it is packed tightly. Sama juga untuk dia ni. Okay, dia akan cell dia duduk dengan dekat-dekat, packed tightly. Okay, and also it forming continuous layer or sheet called epithelial tissue. So the characteristic of epithelial cell, one free surface of the layer is exposed to air or fluid. The other surface of the layer attached to the basement membrane. Macam ni, dia ada dua, dia flat and thin kan. Satu ni dia expose kepada udara ataupun cecair. Satu lagi dia akan attach to the basement membrane. Okay, dia akan attach to the basement membrane. That is the characteristic of the epithelial cell. Okay, and classification based on two criteria. Each shape of the cell on the free surface, kita ada squamous, cuboidal, columnar. And then the number of cell layer. Okay, first kita, epithelial cell ni banyak, besar. So kita bahagi kepada dua kriteria. Kriteria pertama, shape dia. Shape dekat free surface tu macam mana? Shape dekat bahagian atas ni, macam mana rupa dia? Okay, sama ada tiga. Squamous, cuboidal, columnar. Yang kedua, kriteria kedua adalah number of cell layer. Okay, number of cell layer. Simple, stratified. Okay, simple ataupun stratified. Simple macam ni ataupun bertingkat-tingkat macam ni. Right? Okay. Okay, so the single layer of cell attached to the basement. Saya pergi laju ni sebab awak akan discuss lagi dalam tutorial. So structure dia, ingat ni. Thin, flatten, nucleus duduk dekat tengah. Thin and flatten. Kalau awak tulis thin saja, tak tulis flatten, salah. Sama juga macam awak tulis flatten, tak tulis thin, salah. Thin and flatten tu dalam satu ayat yang sama. Contoh awak tulis M&M's. Awak tak tulis chocolate M&M's kan? Awak tak tulis M je. Boleh tulis M&M's. Okay. The function, diffusion, barrier, protect. Okay. Itu cakaplah ayat yang penuh. Saya pergi laju That is simple squamous. Thin, flattened, nucleus duduk tengah. Cuboidal. Cuboidal, shape, cube, central nucleus. And some have microvilli. Whenever any cells that have microvilli, the function is for absorption. Apa-apa saja pun, sel yang ada microvilli, function dia untuk absorption. Okay. Then we have columnar. Columnar ni, columnar shape, oval nucleus. Okay, oval nucleus near the basal end. Maksudnya nucleus tu duduk dekat bahagian bawah. Okay. And columnar ni, dia special. Dia ada goblet cell. Okay, dia ada goblet cell. Bila dia ada goblet cell, function goblet cell ni untuk secrete mucus. Yang ni. Contoh kalau kita tengok dekat sini, okay, dia ada goblet cell yang color orange ni. That is goblet cell. Always associated with goblet cell. Maksudnya dekat simple columnar, dia akan ada goblet cell. And function for ataupun to secrete mucus. Also has cilia. Bila sel yang ada cilia, the function for movement. Function untuk movement. Okay, yang ni. Kalau silai pula. Cilia. Kalau cilia, function untuk movement. Kalau microvilli, function untuk absorption. Okay, tiga tu lah. Structure, function. Simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar. Okay. Stratified. Stratified maksudnya bertingkat-tingkat. Consists of several layers of cell thicker than simple epithelium. The lowest layers are cuboidal shape. So layer paling bawah adalah cube shape. Yang ni, dia adalah cube shape. Okay, the cube shape. Okay, so what happen is yang yang dekat bawah ni, cell attached to the basement membrane, this will divide by mitosis. Okay, it will divide by mitosis. Okay, divide by mitosis. Okay, so bila dia divide, dia akan tolak sel tu ke atas. So sel ke atas ni adalah sel yang lama. Sel yang baru adalah sel yang duduk dekat bawah. Old and new. Okay, alright. Distribution is where protection is required. That is the distribution of stratified. Okay. And nerve cell. Okay, nerve cell or neurons. Nerve cell or neuron, it consists of cell body, dendrites, and axon. Okay, cell body, dendrite, and axon. Yang tu. Okay. Kita ada tiga neuron, sensory neuron, motor neuron, and interneuron. Sensory, motor, interneuron. Okay. Alright, so this is the structure of a neuron, of a nerve cell. Saya rasa tak ada kod dalam lecture note. Okay, tak ada kod. Saya saja je tambah. Okay, untuk revise balik. So it has dendrites, nodes of Ranvier, cell body, axon of another neuron, axon, dendrites of another neuron, and myelin sheath. Okay, function of neuron, boleh tengok lah. Function of neuron, apa setiap satu. Motor neuron ni apa, sensory neuron, and interneuron. Okay, functions of 3 neuron, motor, sensory, inter. Okay, and then we have this one. What you need to know is about this one, myelin sheath. As I said, it has myelin sheath. Along the axon, it has myelin sheath. The one that made up the myelin sheath, siapa yang buat myelin sheath ni adalah Schwann cell. Schwann cell is the cell that made up myelin sheath. And the function of myelin sheath, to increase the transmission of impulse. To increase the transmission of impulse, or to speed up the transmission of impulse. So myelin sheath ni adalah electrical insulator. Maksudnya dekat myelin sheath ni, dekat area yang ada myelin sheath ni kan, dekat area yang ada myelin sheath ni, dia tak akan bagi electrical impulse lalu. So what happen is, electrical impulse will jump. It will jump from here to here to here to here. Okay, so bila dia jump, the movement of impulse will become faster. Okay, the movement of impulse will become faster. Alright, and then we have nodes of Ranvier. Okay, the nodes of Ranvier. The nodes of Ranvier is the small uncovered part of axon between the Schwann cell, which serve as site for accelerating an impulse. Okay, nodes of Ranvier adalah yang ni lah. That is node of Ranvier. Region di mana myelin sheath tak cover. Okay, the region, bahagian di mana myelin sheath tak cover dekat situ. Okay, that is node of Ranvier. Lagi clear yang ni lah. This is node Ranvier. Okay, so macam saya cakap, electrical impulse selalu dekat situ saja. Alright, another tissue, muscle tissue. Okay, muscle tissue is another one of the important tissue in animal tissue other than epithelial tissue. Okay, for muscle tissue, we have smooth muscle, skeletal or striated muscle, and then cardiac muscle. As I said, you need to know the structure, you need to know the functions. Okay, so kita tengok dulu smooth muscle. So this is smooth muscle. Kenapa kita panggil sebagai smooth muscle? Because it is unstriated. Unstriated. Apa maksud unstriated? Allah. Mana dia? Okay, dia adalah unstriated. Apa maksud unstriated ni? Unstriated ni maksudnya dia tak ada jalur-jalur. Okay, dia tak ada jalur-jalur. Contohnya kalau kita tengok skeletal muscle, kalau skeletal muscle ni dia ada jalur-jalur tu kan, garis-garis tu kan. So itu adalah striated, striation. Okay, striated ataupun striation. Smooth muscle do not has that. So we call that as unstriated. Sebab itulah dia smooth saja. Okay, and it is single cell with a central nucleus. Okay, nucleus dia duduk dekat tengah. Okay, nucleus is at the center. Elongated spindle shape. Okay, pointed end. Elongated spindle shape. So dia memanjang. And dia ada pointed end. Ujung dia ada tajam-tajam sikit. Pointed end. Dia meruncing. Okay, meruncing. Okay, the distribution line the walls of digestive tract, urinary bladder, uterus, and the blood vessel. So the function is, the function is for responsible for involuntary activities. Activities yang kita tak control. It contracts slower than skeletal muscle, and then it can contract long period without fatigue. So for example, peristalsis. Peristalsis in the digestive tract. So peristalsis adalah movement of food. Movement of food along kita punya ni kan digestive tract sampailah kita punya digestive system. Smooth intestine, large intestine. Yang bahagian situlah. Alright. So tak apa. Daniel noted. Noted. Faham. Kejap faham. Alright. Then we have skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle dia adalah cylindrical. Bentuk silinder. Cylindrical, very long muscle called fiber. So dia bentuk cylindrical. Bentuk silinder. So kalau awak tengok ni, skeletal muscle ni, dia adalah striated. Striated. It is long cylindrical shape and it has multinucleated. It is multinucleated. Maksudnya dia ada banyak nukleus. Dan nukleus dia duduk dekat dengan betul-betul bawah plasma membrane. So kalau macam awak tengok dalam kat gambar ni, nukleus dia duduk betul-betul dekat dengan plasma membrane. Right? And the plasma membrane of muscle, we call that as sarcolemma. Cytoplasm of the muscle, we call that as sarcoplasm. And it is striated muscle with myofibril. Striated macam saya cakap, dia macam ni, dah ada jalur-jalur tu. Then this is myofibril. Myofibril. Myofibril ni macam ni lah. Macam nak cakap dia macam satu gulung. That is myofibril. Myofibril. Awak bayangkan kalau macam penyapu lidi. Penyapu lidi tu kita punya muscle. Penyapu lidi tu, kalau saya harap awak tahulah penyapu lidi tu apa. Penyapu lidi tu adalah muscle. Setiap satu lidi dalam tu adalah kita punya myofibril. Itu dia punya analogi. So setiap satu lidi tu, setiap myofibril tu, dia adalah striated. Berjalur-jalur rupa macam ni. Each cell divided into unit sarcomere. So dia setiap myofibril tu ada lagi dia punya functional unit ataupun ada lagi struktur yang kecil. Kita panggil dia sebagai sarcomere. Sarcomere is functional unit for muscle contraction. So when our muscle contract, setiap sarcomere ni akan bila masa kita contract, setiap sarcomere kita akan bekerja. Don't worry, you will learn this in semester 2 in details. Second last chapter. If I'm not mistaken, second last chapter. It consists of filaments, actin and myosin, and the arrangement of filaments give light at dark bands. So distribution, of course, it is attached to the skeleton, to the bones, our bones, and the function is for voluntary activities. Activities yang kita control. Contoh saya gerak-gerak tangan ni. That is activity yang saya control. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle, of course, cardiac is related to heart. So it is located at the wall of the heart. Cardiac muscle structure, elongated, cylindrical, and branch. Dia ada branching. So ini branching kan ni. Dia ni adalah branching ni. Branching. Itu branching. Dia juga adalah striated because of myofibril. But shorter than and narrower than skeletal muscle. It also have central nucleus. Nucleus duduk kat tengah. Yang specialnya dia seorang je ada adalah yang ni. Soalan selalu tanya. Apa yang what is the unique, okay, kalau soalan tanya what is the unique structure, kalau dia tanya unique structure, yang ni lah awak kena bagi. Okay, intercalated disc, and dia akan tanya apa function intercalated disc. So intercalated disc, the function is to signal rapidly or spread the impulse. Okay, spread the impulse ataupun spread the signal rapidly from cell to cell during heartbeat. So during heartbeat, okay, during heartbeat kita punya impulse akan travel lebih laju bila kita ada intercalated disc. Okay. Also distribution located in the wall of the heart. So duduk kat sini lah. Okay, in the wall of the heart. Okay, so awak tengok ni dia ada branching. Branching. Okay. And central nucleus of course. Dia ni cardiac muscle dengan siapa tadi mula-mula? Dengan smooth muscle adalah dua type of muscle yang ada nucleus yang duduk dekat tengah. Okay, nucleus dia duduk kat tengah. Kalau untuk skeletal muscle tadi, nucleus dia duduk dekat peripheral, dekat dengan plasma membrane. Okay, so function of cardiac tissue for involuntary activities. Okay, contraction of muscle, of course. Okay, heartbeat kita tak boleh control. Okay, heartbeat kita maksudnya tak boleh control, tak adalah kita suruh, okay, stop, kejap. Tak. Dia involuntary activities. Dia bukan kalau kontrol jadi laju atau kontrol jadi slow tu, itu kita boleh kontrol lah. Itu sebab hormon. Okay, contoh tiba-tiba kita punya heartbeat jadi laju bila kita nervous. Okay, bila kita nervous, heartbeat jadi laju. Itu sebab hormon lah tu. Okay, hormon. Okay, kalau untuk yang general, function of cardiac tissue for involuntary activities. And cardiac tissue ni adalah myogenic. Myogenic maksudnya have own built-in system of control to generate contraction. Maksud myogenic ni dia ada dia punya own system untuk control contraction. Dia tak perlukan information daripada kita punya brain. Katakanlah brain suruh, okay, brain cakap tolong stop je. Tak, dia tak macam tu. Okay, dia tak macam tu. Nanti insyaAllah kalau SEM 2 nanti semua dah okay, awak akan bedah tikus. Okay, awak akan bedah tikus. Awak akan buat dissection. Bila awak bedah tikus tu, okay, awak potong, buka dia punya rib cage, awak akan nampak dia punya heart still beating. Okay, the heart is still beating. That is characteristic of heart. Heart is myogenic. Okay, have its own built-in system of control to generate contraction. Myogenic tu datang daripada mana? Daripada SA node. Okay, SA node. SA node ni adalah pacemaker of our heart. Okay, itu adalah dia punya sistem. SA node, the pacemaker. Okay, connective tissue is to protect, support the body and internal organs. Major type of connective tissue in compact bone. Okay, invertebrates are compact bone. Hyaline cartilage. Kena tulis nama dia macam tu Hyaline cartilage and blood. Compact bone, hyaline cartilage and blood. Yang ni saya rasa awak boleh baca sendiri lah. Okay, sebab dia macam mana cakap? Dia senang. Okay. Yang penting inilah. Yang penting awak kena tahu difference. Selalu dia tanya difference between compact bone dengan hyaline cartilage ni. Okay, compact bone. Blood ni memang daripada form 3 dah awak belajar. Okay, daripada form 3 dah awak belajar. So memang tak ada masalah. Okay, compact bone dengan hyaline cartilage ni mungkin baru bagi awak. Okay, so saya akan, yang ni mungkin, macam mana nak cakap? Mungkin saya akan discuss ni minggu depan. Okay, awak baca dulu connective tissue ni. Mungkin saya akan discuss ni minggu depan. Okay, compact bone, hyaline cartilage and blood. Saya nak cerita sikit satu je. Okay, sebelum kita habis. Okay, ada lagi 15 minit. Tapi saya akan habis awal 5 minit sebelum pukul 10. Saya nak cerita sikit pasal plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane. Soalan favorite yang selalu ditanya, and then banyak benda yang kita nak cerita pasal plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane Okay. Plasma membrane described by fluid mosaic model. Fluid mosaic model. Awak kena tahu apa maksudkan dengan fluid. Apa maksud mosaic? Wajib tahu. Okay, soalan tak akan tanya senang-senang. Okay, what is the name of the model? Baru stage pertama. Stage kedua, apa maksud fluid, apa maksud mosaic. Okay, so you already learned this. Of course, you already learned this in SPM. This is just revision for you. So structure, it is proposed by S.J. Singer and G.L. Nicholson. The fluid mosaic model, the membrane is composed of two layers. Okay, two layers, the bilayer. Okay, the bilayer of phospholipid with globular protein embedded in the bilayer. So membrane kita ni, any membrane contohnya dekat kloroplas ada membrane, dekat mitokondria ada membrane, dekat sel, kita punya sel pun ada plasma membrane kan. Okay, so membrane tu diperbuat daripada consist of bilayer that has globular protein embedded in the bilayer. Yang ada globular protein tertanam dalam bilayer tu. Okay, tertanam macam mana? Tertanam rupa dia macam ni. Tertanam ni. Ni dia tertanam, embedded. Okay. Fluid. Apa maksud fluid? Fluid refer to phospholipid and proteins move laterally. Maksudnya it will move side by side. Okay, side by side yang macam ni. Fluid. Phospholipid and protein ni boleh bergerak side by side. Can move laterally. Laterally dengan literally dua benda yang berlainan. So make sure you jaga you punya spelling. Mosaic, what is meant by mosaic? Refer to proteins are embedded in the phospholipid bilayer, like the mosaic tiles embedded in the mortar. Mosaic refer to proteins embedded in the phospholipid bilayer. Ini maksudnya mosaic. Okay, itu maksudnya mosaic. Right. Of course, you need to remember this one. Okay, you need to remember the diagram of plasma membrane. And kita punya plasma membrane ni ada apa Okay, plasma membrane ni kita ada lima benda. Okay, first kita ada phospholipid. Phospholipid. Second, kita ada proteins. Yang ketiga, kita ada carbohydrate chain or oligosaccharide. Then kita ada kolesterol. Okay, ni. Phospholipid. Ada apa? Ada phospholipid, ada hydrophobic. Okay. Protein. Ada dua jenis protein. Integral, peripheral protein. Integral and peripheral protein. Carbohydrate chain ataupun kita panggil dia sebagai oligosaccharide found on the external surface of the plasma membrane. Ada dua jenis carbohydrate chain, glycoprotein and glycolipid. Glycoprotein and glycolipid. Okay, glycoprotein, glycolipid. Alright, cholesterol. Cholesterol found between phospholipid. You need to know about the function. Okay, yang ni, dia duduk dekat celah-celah phospholipid tu. So when these are the functions. Okay, this is the functions of plasma membrane. Okay, ini function plasma membrane. Ini function membrane protein. So ada beza Ini function membrane protein, iaitu protein-protein yang macam ni, integral, peripheral. Function plasma membrane dua ni. Okay, jangan confuse. Right? Make sure you know how to draw. Okay, make sure you know how to draw the plasma membrane based on fluid mosaic model. Okay, based on fluid mosaic model. Alright, I think that's all for today. Do you have any questions? Ada soalan tak?
Tak ada.